What?
It's not letting me go to Facebook, which I didn't think it would. Oh, shit. We're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alpha Bro Show, the third episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. It was kind of a very impromptu episode. Josh is going out of town this week, so we had to get it in when we could get it in, if you know what I'm saying. And with that, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Josh Webb. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, just sitting here at the house. Like you said, impromptu. I had no idea we were even doing this today. What's that cup, man?
Oh, you like it? Look.
Yeah.
Skull, motherfucker.
What is it?
Skull, dog.
Skull?
Skull. No, it's not skull. It's ox horn.
Oh, shit. It's like an ox hoof. That's a horn?
It's way out of, yeah, it's probably ox. It's probably got all kinds of fucking ox.
What's the story on that?
It's what they drank out. It's what Vikings drank out of. They drank out of ox horn. Mainly. I'm sure there was other horns they fucking drank out of.
I'm pretty sure they drink out anything.
Mm-hmm.
True Viking.
Which, contrary to popular belief, they did not drink out of the skulls of their enemies, which is very, very disheartening.
Yeah, I mean, surely to God, at some point, that story
Somebody
just wasn't
did.
born out of lore.
Yeah.
Somebody had to have done that.
Somebody did it.
Yeah, it's like rugby players drinking out of a boot. You know, I mean, it just happens occasionally.
They drank out of a boot?
Yeah, it's kind of a thing, I think.
Yeah.
A boot, the shoe you played in. I don't know. I've heard that. I think it may have even drank out of a boot a few times myself.
Yeah, I was about to say, you played rugby, didn't you?
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah, a couple
Did you
years.
ever drink out of a boot?
Yeah, a couple times. They say a boot, it was more of a fucking shoe that you played in, or somebody's shoe that they were wearing at the bar. Yeah, we were sponsored here in Louisville, so we get some pizzas or pies or whatever after each game and a couple kegs. So that always led to some form of drinking out of something that wasn't natural, you know. So.
What's up, Neil? Neil Brandt, honorary Alpha Bro from the premiere episode. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, what's
Skull,
up, Neil?
Neil?
Had to turn my comments on.
Yeah, you always do that, man. You don't want to.
Because me and you, we're always chatting. Anybody that's done this knows that the people that are doing the show are chatting before the show. So I had it blown up so I could see you from across the room while I was getting all the shit ready.
You like it. You like that widescreen. You like that. You like to be the host screen, don't you?
No, like you being the whole screen so I can see
alpha.
you. Yeah,
it's very alpha of you. How about that? You like this? See, that's too much.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
It's too much. It's too
I
much
like it better
alphaness.
with the background. Yeah.
Yeah. It's too much alphaness. I don't like
Yeah.
it. So, for any of you that are going to be watching this recorded on Facebook, the reason we're not able to stream on Facebook today, or tonight I should say, is because I am on a 3-day ban, Facebook jail, I think is what the kids call it. I call it bullshit. I posted a picture of a Canadian government building that apparently someone kept creating pornographic snow people. This one happened to be a dude getting blown. It's a snow dude, snow chick. And the government center put a post on their Facebook page asking whoever's doing it to please stop. That there are going to be consequences because you are on video.
What are they going to do? I mean,
know.
what the fuck else do Canadians have to do?
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So I posted it and said, fucking Canadians, am I right? Hey? What's that on a boot? But anyway, they put me in fucking Facebook jail because I violated their community standards on hate speech.
Now, this has happened to you recently, too, from another post, right? Just within the last couple weeks. You were like 24 hours.
Yes,
right?
From a post that I made back in July.
Yeah, you had somebody trolling your page, dude.
I got, like you said, I think you're right. I've friended someone here recently I got it out for me.
You're a fox in the hen house, dude.
Fox in the hen house. It's probably Audrey Sedlock. If I have to narrow my list of subjects down, it's probably a girl named Audrey Sedlock. Oh, hey, Audrey, what's up? What's up? How you doing? But no, yeah, I got a rooster in the hen house, dude. It's fucked me up. Did I miss out on the fact that's not Wednesday? Well, if you were here at 7 o'clock, Jason, you'd have heard the story on why we had to do. No. Yes, I do believe last show we did say Wednesday. So this is what happened. Josh couldn't do Wednesday. Oh, shit, man, I'm going to be out of town. Let's do Tuesday. Okay, we'll do Tuesday. Oh, shit, man, I work Tuesday. Can we do Monday? So then I text him, and he goes, oh, we doing a show tonight? Like 30 minutes ago.
No, man. No, the text wasn't as clear as you're making it out to be. Because you were like, no, I could actually fucking read it to you right here.
Okay. Read it. Let's chat decide.
Hang on. Let me find out.
I'll read it to you.
You text me a lot.
I know, and you never text back. Here, I got it.
All right.
Here it is. So say,
See?
Oh, fuck, I work Tuesday. See, no, wait, hold on.
Yeah, you can go back before that.
No, I don't. Damn, I do text you a lot. Oh, here it is. Forgot to tell you, I'm actually out of town next Wednesday, going to New York. Tuesday, will that work for you? The 23rd? Yeah. Yeah, let me find out what time we're leaving, blah, blah, blah. Okay, researching now. Hard to talk about.
Hang on. No.
We don't have to. Dude, that's got nothing to do. I am. That's got nothing to do with the scheduling. None of those texts I skipped have anything to do with the scheduling. We're talking about content for the next show. That's what I'm.
Okay, yeah, I got it right here. I said, "Fuck, I work Tuesday."
Yeah,
LOL.
I'm getting to that.
Monday. All right.
Fuck, I work Tuesday. LOL. Monday? Question mark. Oh my God.
No. OMG. He texted me like a teenage girl. OMG.
That's how you do it now, man. Yeah, hey, I've come a long
Type
way.
it out, man. You're a grown man.
No. I'm saving
Or set
time.
your settings where OMG it just automatically comes up. Oh my God. Or just don't say that. It's kind of gay. Oh my God.
Yeah, because Wednesday. Oh wait, I work. I'm leaving out of town. Can we do two? No wait.
So you're exacerbated.
Oh my
is what
God
this what oh my
is
God's
coming
about.
Up. There's another oh my God coming up because this ain't even the real oh my God part.
Yeah, you said not this week.
Next week.
Next week, right?
Yes.
And I said Monday as in tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be working Tuesday and leaving to go out of town. Wednesday, going out of town Wednesday and not back until Monday next week.
Keep going.
So, yeah, I said this never happens. We don't go out of town that often. And you said LOL.
That's laugh out loud, oh man.
Okay, all right. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man, I understand. See, I understand. Have fun. I'll take care of it. No problem. Things like arise.
Things like this arise.
Things like this
Yes.
arise.
I'm
You
paraphrasing.
didn't say this. I'm reading it word for word.
Okay. Now
Then I said-
no. I'm gonna read yours.
Okay.
Is this passive aggressiveness, man? LOL, little
say
bitch.
Hey, man, I
sure?
was just trying to use your language.
So listen. So then, don't you try to distract from this text
All right.
because it says, "You sure we can't knock something out tomorrow?" I'm going to share a calendar from my phone so we can secure some dates. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I was like, I got no ideas for Monday.
Okay.
no,
So there's the first clue. No,
okay,
don't skip
okay,
over that.
okay,
There's the
I'm
first
not.
clue.
I'm
I
not.
have no idea for Monday.
Okay.
And no, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm just trying to clean up the house, man, or clean
Yeah.
up the house.
And then you said something about the 17th. That's St. Patty's Day. I'll be hungover, or I'll be drunk. 18th, I'll be hungover. So no, those dates don't work.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about content for this show.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah,
no,
that
we never
sounds good.
We never say Monday.
Axes, I love axes. I know you do.
Who said that? Oh yeah, you sent Axis ? As in content for this show. I said, oh, I love Axis, and you said I know LOL. And you sent me a picture of probably the gayest axe I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was.
Where were you at? Where were you at here? Were you at a thrift shop or something?
Yeah,
This looked like
Peddler's
somebody's
Mall.
kid. I wish I could show this.
I know.
Looks like somebody's kid made this
Yeah.
and has it on sale for 90 cents, which is cool. Whoever made it, good for
No,
you, kid.
it's
Look like
not.
you used some, huh?
Dude, it's garbage. No one should pay a quarter for that fucking thing.
Well, I
was
mean, the
mad I
little
didn't buy it.
entrepreneur, man. I mean, he went out, he made this, he put it in his mom's booth thinking, hey, I'll make a buck. You know, buy me some whatever they buy online nowadays. Yeah, so anyway, we never really secured that we were going to do it Monday. There was no defining text that we are on for Monday.
That's true.
Content will be on Axis, which is the world I live in. And then I get you calling me, and I'm like, oh, fuck, what's up with this? Because you never call, you text.
Yep.
And, yeah, it's like, hey, you ready for 6:30? I was like, what the fuck you talking about? No, not ready for 6:30. So I think you got me in trouble with the family. But
I did. Yeah. Just one member.
what?
Just one member.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just one member of your family I got you in trouble with.
No, I think they're all mad at me.
Why?
They're all in there eating dinner. I know we had plans, but anyway. So we'll get through this quick. Axis. Get me in trouble. They're probably all in there watching, dummy.
They ain't watching her eat dinner.
Travis,
Make
man,
up
he's
your
like
mind.
Travis is like the best fucking friend you can have,
Make up
and the
your
worst
mind.
enemy, all at the same time.
Oh my
All at the same
God.
time.
All
Anybody in the chat that is that close to you knows this. Travis, I sent you a picture of my hatchet through Facebook Messenger a little bit ago. Well, Neil, you've been here for a while, so you know he won't get that for a few days.
No, yeah, that's cool. No, I got it. I can get into Messenger. I just can't post on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking
okay.
stupid.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man, that's almost like a bearded axe, Neil. And I'll tell you more about bearded axes in a second. But yeah, so we're doing this show on axes, and what's that got to do with being an alpha bro? Well, I'll tell you why. An axe is probably one of the most alpha tools you can fucking have. They have several multi-purposes. In the fire service, we use them. I mean, they are obviously, as you could tell, it's a symbol for us, along with the Maltese cross. I mean, our tradition, heritage, optics, for that matter, are geared towards the fire axe. And so for those of you who don't know, there are fire axes and wood axes, and there's a litany of different type of axes. And Josh has several axes with him right now. This behind me is basically that's a traditional fire axe. It's got the pick end on the back side of it. Is
that your retirement axe?
That's actually not. The guy's got me a Warhammer.
Oh, way
For my
way
retirement,
cooler.
Guess. Dude, I know, like, right? Like, look at
Yeah,
that.
you're probably the only guy on the fire department got a hammer.
Yeah, because they said I was worthy.
Worthy of the war to be able to pick it up.
Yeah.
Like,
it was tough. It's tough. It gets heavy sometimes, man, and that tells me I got to straighten up. I got to fucking be worthy to fucking
So like
wield this thing.
Thor's hammer. What's that called?
Exactly, Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Yeah.
Yeah. Look. I got a little See, I don't know if you can see it. I got a little Mjolnir behind it. See it?
I know you got a little Mjolnir.
A real little Mjolnir, but it's strong and it's got a lot of heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you know that axe there is from me being a 12-year e-board member.
Oh, cool.
On the union. Yeah.
On the union.
Oh yeah. Was it, dude? Came to a union meeting. It was my last union meeting. Dave and Brian and them had texted me. That's our union officials. They're like, "Are you coming to me?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, I always come. Yeah, I'll be there." And they gave me that before the meeting started, and I was just like, had no idea I'd been on the executive board for longer than 10 years. I had no idea. Like, it's just something I always did. Even before then, I went to union meetings and stuff. So yeah, that was awesome. Awesome gift. But that is a traditional fire axe. Josh, what are some of the other type of axes that we use in the fire service?
I mean, fire service. I mean, we just got like a wood axe. It's got kind of a companion to another tool we carry all the time, the Halligan. So on one side, I don't have one. It's similar to this, where it's just got a blunt end. It's a wood axe. It's got a blade or a face on the other end of it. One end's made to push, to be able to use the Halligan to force doors open, to be able to kind of hammer that tool in deeper into a door. And then, of course, the fire axe, with the pick end. That was kind of, we use the shit out of that axe probably more so than the other axe. Everybody, from when we came in, our fire department is still heavy on carrying the axe. You see guys jumping off the rig and they carry axe. I don't carry one so much anymore. It's more a Halligan and a hook for me, but I can get pretty much anything done with that. But yeah, as far as the fire service, those are about the only two axes that we carry on the rig or use on scene.
So I told Josh earlier I had a story. I have an axe from the fire department. Sue me.
You earned it.
So this is a fire axe, obviously. Please, if you own any tool, do not let it get like this. I was actually busting up ice on my patio with this, and I forgot to dry it off. It's got a little rust on it, but you should never have a fucking tool that looks like this. That's just fucking lazy. But so this is actually an axe that I used. This axe right here saved my life. Fire on Jefferson Street, and it was 2 buildings going. Me, and I can say it now because who gives a fuck, the chief of our fire department, who it's very odd for someone like a chief or a district chief for that matter to be actively fighting fire. This fire was a fucking shit show. And we had just arrived. Me and Josh worked Engine 6. We were several streets away, but when we got there was fucking plenty to be done. And as I was going to get tools, I came off the truck. The chief told me, "Travis, grab 2 plaster hooks. Get us 2 plaster hooks. We got to get here and pull these ceilings." I said, okay. So I had this axe in my hand. I slid it down in the waistband of my pack, my SCBA. So I go get 2 plaster hooks. We start pulling ceilings in this room. I didn't even know where he wanted to pull ceilings at because I couldn't see shit. I just heard him pulling, so I started pulling. So we're pulling ceilings. We're making our way next room, pull that ceiling. We're making our way through the back of this house. Well, my foot goes through the floor. My left foot goes through the floor. I was like, oh shit, and it went pretty far. I went to push off, and now my right foot has went through the floor. So I am in a hole. Don't know how big the hole is. Don't know anything. Can't hardly see anything. And I'm grabbing the drywall, the wood plaster, whatever it was, from the ceiling that we had pulled. I've got like 2 hands in it. And every time I go to move, I sink a little further in the hole. So now I'm scared to death to fucking move. So what I did is I reached down and grabbed my axe and slid it out, and I just started like trying to dig my way out with this pike end. Okay? Now, that did not work either. Okay? But what did happen was I got a good bite on something, and now I'm not sliding. Okay? But every time I tried, because I had it in my right hand, every time I tried to move and I'm pushing debris into this hole, I'm weakening the floor in front of me that was kind of holding me up. Long story short, which too late, right? But the back wall had burnt out. I didn't know it because there was so much smoke. I could see people in the alley. And Mark Myers was one of them. And I remember doing this. So there's a colonel on the fire department now. He was the district chief then. He goes, "What's that guy doing?" Mark tells me this later. "What's that guy doing?" And Mark said, "I don't know. It looks like he's waving at us." And Crony goes, "Oh, shit, sorry, Colonel Crony, it was you." He goes, "He's awful short." And Mark said, "I think he's in trouble." So Mark and another firefighter came in the back, grabbed me by my straps, and pulled me out of the hole. Now, hey, could have been nothing, right? Like, could have fell in the hole, still found my way out, whatever. There was no access. There was no attic access. There was no basement access. Okay? Mm-hmm. Cody Jones took a 12-foot plaster hook and went straight to the bottom of this hole, never hit the bottom of it.
Where you had fallen through?
Yep.
Damn, it's weird. We don't find a lot of basements out there.
No,
you know, some of the commercial structures, but
especially on that stretch of Jefferson. Like,
yeah.
But if I'd have fell in that hole, might have killed me because it was fucking longer than 10 feet.
Yeah.
With my pack on and everything, but I wouldn't have been found. As long as I was conscious, I probably could have yelled. You know what I mean? But that's all assuming that the fire goes out, and that was the exposure building. It wasn't the main fire building. The main fire building was fucking gone anyway. But anyway, so I took this fucking axe home with me because I felt like that next morning off shift, I fucking threw it in my truck.
Did you at least write it in the inventory book that it was missing?
No, I didn't. Fuck it, y'all figure it out.
We're glad you're safe, man. No, yeah, because that kills a lot of people. You know, I mean, I wouldn't have had that axe in my waistband. I mean, I never do that. You know, something I never. You did it obviously to free up two hands so you could carry some tools. So it's something you probably don't do either.
Never done it. First time I'd ever done it. Because he was like, "I need," and I was like, I had an axe in my hand. I was like, "Oh shit! All right, let's go, chief." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. I've seen the chief in a lot of fires over the years.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
weird bumping into him.
Good, probably good fireman.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah.
You know, say what you want about him, but I mean, I like him as a person. I like drinking beer with him. I like seeing him out at retirement parties, and I think he's a good fireman. You know, other things maybe not. So
yeah, no, hell, I've seen him on a roof. I was out actually talking about cutting, you know, axes and shit like that. I was cutting some trees down on 3rd Street. This has been years ago. Shit, I don't know. I was still at 7, so it was within my first year on 3rd Street. And my boss was like, "Oh shit, look over there," you know. And there was just smoke blowing across the street, across 3rd Street, and there was a big 2.5, maybe even a 3-story house down there on 3rd Street on fire. Wound up, you know, burning 2 or 3 houses right there in that area. You know, it had 2 exposures on each side. The chief, hell, he was on the roof on one of them. There was a big delay getting people there. They were at a training, I think, all out at like Engine 1, which was pretty far from that area.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was pretty weird. Yeah, I actually got some people out of that house.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. You're a hero.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you stole an axe.
I stole an axe. I'm a criminal and don't give a fuck. But yeah, so axes, man, they have a fucking 1,000 purposes. Again, you can cut, you can pry, you can bludgeon, you can hammer. They can be used as a weapon. This is an axe that I keep in my truck all the time. My dad went to Knife World in Gatlinburg, and he said, hey, I'm in Knife World in Gatlinburg. You want me to get you anything? I said, yes. I want an axe or like a hatchet. And he was like, what do you want that for? And I went, zombies. I want it for fucking zombies, Dad.
I
Get
can
me a
see your
fucking
dad
hatchet.
like, what the fuck is he
Yeah,
drinking
exactly.
again?
Yeah.
What the fuck's he talking about?
Is he high? He knows he can't smoke weed. But yeah, this is it's a SOG. It's a multi-purpose hatchet. It's extremely sharp right here. It's got this pike in. It's got and it's what I like about it's this handle. This handle is like some type of fucking hard polymer. And I've pried like some different shit with this. Like we've taken this camping. And I've needed it in my truck. I've scraped my windows off of ice with it. I mean, like a fucking axe, man. Like, and you could. There's 1,000 purposes for a fucking axe. Everybody should have a fucking axe. Why should I own an axe? You might need an axe because there's there's very few tools other than like say a Gerber. I know a lot of guys carry Gerbers. I don't have one actually, which is kind of strange.
What are you talking about, Gerber?
A Gerber, a multi-tool, a
Leatherman,
like a Leatherman.
Okay.
Yeah. Gerber makes a multi-tool too.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But those things they're fucking handy, right? And they're like this. That's small. Like you don't want to be carrying this in your fucking truck all the time. But like you can carry something like this and it come in handy when you need it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, love axes, dude. But obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine the beginnings of this country if the axe weren't around? I mean, we'd have never been able to clear land. I mean, hell.
Yeah.
Build houses, all that kind of shit that they did. Of course, they had saws and
Well, and then we'll kind of get to that's a nice segue into like the Viking culture, the Danish culture, the Nords. They built. I mean, their culture was. I mean, it was founded on the axe. And what's funny is there were Vikings that used swords, but they were more well-to-do Vikings because they were made of steel. Like that was expensive shit. Everybody had one of these, and a lot of Vikings were what? They were farmers. They were farmers first, and so a lot of Vikings had axes because they farmed with them. But then they could take them to battle as well. So and I was telling Josh earlier. To go to Valhalla, they needed to have their axe in their hand. If they died in battle, a lot of people think, well, you died in battle, you went to Valhalla. Not necessarily. You needed to have your axe in your hand. So if you were dead, that's the reason one of the things that they did after battles was they walked around and made sure that their dead had their weapon. Okay? Well, why, did they still get to go if they died? I don't know. I'm just telling you that their culture was ingrained in this axe.
So why do you think that is? I mean, mainly from battle or both battle, the ability to, because obviously they came from a cold environment, so heating their lodges and shit like that was needed. So I mean, hell, their axes were probably used for fucking everything.
Yeah, for everything. Yeah. Farming, battle. I mean, like again, like you didn't go anywhere probably without this motherfucker. You had this thing in your hand more than you did your horn of ale. You know what I mean? You always had this axe, and you lived with it, and you might have died with it. You know what I mean? That you form a bond. It's funny to think that you could form a bond with some inanimate object like that, but I'm sure guys did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, hell, look at like Marines and their rifles.
Exactly.
Yep. Us and our axes.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, it
well,
becomes
like this
a symbol. Yeah.
You think I got an attachment to this motherfucker? I do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was busting ice with it and I felt bad. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I'm hitting it on it. I'm like, I'm sorry. You saved my life and this is how I treat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a friend that like never lets you down. That motherfucker's going to work every time you pick it up.
Exactly.
And it's going to save your life. Be it as a tool or a weapon or whatever, like you said.
Right.
So yeah, man, I think it would be really easy to form a bond.
For sure.
With something like that, especially in that type of an environment.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you probably didn't have a lot of buddies you hung out with. You know what I mean?
Who wants to be friends with a Viking anyway?
I know, right? I would.
I don't know, man.
I'd be like a Viking groupie. I'd like
look
just
around,
go to battles and blow my
All your
horn,
shit would be
blow the horn,
gone.
Skull, motherfuckers!
You know way more about
Shield
Vikings than I do.
wall! Shield wall! So, two of the main axes the Vikings used, the one that was specifically designed for battle was the Danish axe or the Dane axe. It was larger, two-handed, like in the standby image that I used for the show. Those would be considered Dane axes. They're a little bit longer, two-hand. Maybe the shafts would have been a little bit longer. That's what we all say, right? I wish my shaft was just a little bit longer. But so those would be Danish axes, and also so the other one's a bearded axe. And I thought this was interesting. I was like, a bearded, wow, like why would they call an axe a bearded axe? And so the blade parts, which this is more of a tomahawk, right? But like the blade is the beard of an axe. So a bearded axe, the blade actually extended down, like towards the shaft, like his in that image. So those were more common. Those were the ones that some guys farmed with, and they were smaller. And you could also hunt with them. That's one thing that, like, back then they didn't have fucking 30-06s or 300 blackouts that they hunted with. They hunted with fucking throwing axes because you couldn't get close enough to a fucking deer to chop it in half with a fucking Danish axe. So they used the smaller axes that were fucking amazingly sharp, and they usually had the blunted end, kind of like your hatchet does. And they would fucking throw them with crazy accuracy and kill an animal. Like, that's fucking amazing to me. You know what I mean? Like, to think that they actually hunted deer with a fucking axe.
So we don't get killed by some nerd in the comments. Like that part of the very bottom of that blade is called the beard. Mm-hmm. So the bottom like quarter of your axe there.
No, the whole bladed end.
No, you got the toe at the top, then you got the blade is the meat part of it, and then you have the beard. That's the structure of the blade. Is a toe, the blade, and the beard. So, from my understanding, from what I remember reading, there's actually a really good book out there if you are a book nerd and axe nerd. I think it's called the Axe Book. I think is what it's called, by D. Cook, I believe. I've got it. I just been doing some work in here and couldn't find it, but it's a really good book, and it like goes throughout the history of the axe and talks about it, with just all the different parts of an axe, its handle, how to make the handles, how to use an axe, the ergonomics of a straight handle versus a curved handle with a fawn's foot and all that kind of shit. So yeah, there's actually a couple, but the Axe Book by D. Cook is probably one of the ones that stand out for me.
What's his name again? D. Cook?
D. Cook, I think, is all that's on the cover. D. Cook.
Okay.
The Axe Book. That's what it's called.
The Axe Book. Who was the guy you were talking about earlier, the YouTube channel guy that builds just everything with an axe?
I can't remember. Somebody can probably find out who he is, but he pretty much, his YouTube channel is all geared towards building things with axes. So he'll take and cut down a tree and then have that turned into a dining room table, all through the process of hand tools. Predominantly axes is his thing. But man, that's what a tough, like, watching the process of him doing that just shows, like, I mean, I'm across from me, I'm looking at just a whole wall full of tools, that would speed up the process that he does, tremendously. And I mean, I wouldn't want to do it personally, but the availability to do that is there with the right hand tools, and an axe being the first hand tool to be able to fell a tree and to buck it up and delimit and all that kind of stuff. So you talk about axes like the double blade axe, the double bitted axe, where you got two blades on each side. That's an axe, kind of a utility axe, where one of those would be really, really sharp to fell a tree, and the other one would be not quite as sharp, razor sharp, but it would be sharp, but you'd have more meat at the tip of the blade, and it was used for like knocking off the limbs and bucking up the tree and stuff like that. I think they actually called that a backstabber axe. So people would carry it over their shoulder, and that axe would dig into their
back.
Yeah.
So where I got this is what this says, and this is Viking style axes. Like you buy your axe, you can buy an axe here. Because I was looking at some of them. It said that's not what I want to read. All right, the bearded design is characterized by the longer bladed section or beard, which extends below the butt of the axe. Any axe where the blade extends some distance below the butt of an axe is technically classified as a bearded axe. In contrast to the Native American tomahawk or earlier Bronze Age and Iron Age axes. And they've got a picture of one, which the blade goes all the, like way down past the butt, which is basically the back of the axe.
So like, I don't know anything about those axes, but were they made for battle, or were they made as a utility axe first?
Utility
and just
axe.
Found their way.
Yep. Because like I said, it was a common man's tool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So every farmer had that type of axe. Now the Danish axe, the big two-handed axe that had a much larger head on it, was heavier. That's the reason you needed two hands. Had the longer handle so you could fucking swing, get some distance on somebody. It was a lot sharper probably. Now I'm sure if you're farming all day with a fucking bearded axe, you could sharpen it up when you knew the fucking battle horn was about to go off. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It probably wasn't as important to have it super sharp, but I don't know. They cut wood with it and shit too. Like you said, Scandinavian countries, man, you'll fucking freeze to death. You know, so cutting wood and stuff was a mainstay. So they probably stayed sharp all the time. But the bearded part, I believe that extension of the blade probably came from battle. You know what I mean? Like someone thought, hey, I can cut a tree with this much of a blade, but if I had a bearded blade, I might cut a bigger tree, or I could fuck somebody up.
I just wonder, like with this axe here, it's.
Yeah.
Whoops, you hear me?
Yeah.
Like with this axe here, you can see it's got see how the blade is on that.
Yep.
Or you got the sharp part here, but then on the other side, it's completely flat.
The butt.
So the bevel only goes one direction, and it's made like that so that like if you're building a log cabin, you can flatten one side of a log. So you would go down the length of a log, chopping with the flat side. Right.
Yeah.
So you're flattening that log so that you can join logs, or so that you would have a flat wall or whatever. I was just wondering if that bearded axe was similar in design, but made to maybe chop larger logs. I mean, because this style of axe come in a shit ton of different sizes.
Oh,
That's a small one there. So
yeah. So it's kind of like the bevel's not as long. I wish I had one. So like, see how this one dips right here? All right.
Yeah.
Like the bearded axe, this would be let's just for sake of argument, this is the same. Okay. Now bearded axe, this part here would extend down. Like some of them are fucking real long.
Yeah. I mean, I get what it is. I just didn't know what the utility for it was.
I think just fucking somebody up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, that's interesting. I don't know. Like I said, guys, we're not fucking historians. We're not axe experts.
Yeah.
We like them. We dig them. We've used them probably more than the average person because of being in the fire service so long. And like, again, we've discussed that ad nauseum about the multi-use, especially on a fire ground, overhaul operations like we didn't even really get into. I mean, other than having a Halligan, an axe is what I wanted in overhaul.
Yeah. I mean, well, hell, even me, growing up in Alaska for some time, I mean, I used an axe all the time.
All the time.
I mean, I can remember using a chainsaw as a little kid and an axe. I mean, a chainsaw versus an axe, I mean, they both have their uses. But if we're talking about just axes, I mean, you can do so much. You can do a lot with an axe, right? And if we're talking about it like from a survival standpoint, preparedness standpoint, I guess,
Yeah,
which can be kind of an alpha thing, is, always being prepared and being ready. Having chainsaws are great. Having extra parts is great. Having fuel is great. But if you're looking at like some long-term situation where you need a tool that's going to fucking last your lifetime and possibly your kids' lifetime, grandkids, I mean, you can't hurt these things, really.
That's right.
You can break the handles, but you can replace them.
Right.
I mean, an axe would be the ideal tool for that. I mean,
Right.
if you're working in an area, you need to be quiet. You don't want to be running a chainsaw, whereas you could be using an axe. And like I said, it doesn't have the maintenance issues that a chainsaw would have, and the injury level is probably much less with an axe.
For sure.
I mean, I've got probably 70 stitch scar on my leg from a chainsaw, which honestly happened in I dropped a tree and was, going down and bucking the tree up and delimbing it, which is just kind of cleaning the trunk off and then bucking it up into sections that could be handled to be loaded up in a truck. And I was kind of high stepping like through the brush. And as I was doing that, I think my idle was set a little bit high and my chain was running on my saw. I just was being lazy, didn't fix it, stepped right into it. It cut my leg open, where an axe wouldn't have done that, Right. But yeah, I mean, an axe in a situation like that from a preparedness standpoint, and if we're talking about everybody owning an axe, like you said earlier, that's one good reason to have it, that I can think of.
I mean, and that's why I carry this, just for preparedness. You know what I mean?
You carry that in your truck, your Jeep?
My Jeep. Yeah, I had to go out and get it out of the back before the show just because I wanted to show everybody. Like I said, it's got multi-purpose, and like you can wrap like there's paracord around it. It's kind of like a nice little handle, actually. Doug Pedersen actually wrapped that for me one day at the firehouse.
Did he really?
It's old sergeant. But
yeah,
but like, if I ever need paracord, use it. I've seen videos where guys can start fires off flints with using a fucking axe. Like a little hatchet. This is a hatchet. It's not necessarily an axe, but for preparedness sake, everybody needs to fucking have one.
I could see that. I could see that first guy that kind of put that together. He's sitting there with everybody had sticks, right? I mean, we have hands. Probably one of the first natural, weapons or tools was a stick, picking it up. So you got some, and I'm just, imagining some dude sitting on a riverbed looking around. He's like, oh, that's fucking cool looking. Like, I wonder if I tied that rock to the end of this stick. I wonder what I could achieve.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he's got like a rudimentary, axe. And then of course, and then, when now we have what we have today, it's such a natural progression. And it hasn't really evolved much from
it hasn't.
The beginning of it. Such a perfect tool.
From what I was looking at, and like we've talked about this before the show, but I forgot to mention it. Like there's documentation that the Roman fire brigade in 24 BC, mind you.
Hey, I'm listening. I got to do something real quick.
Sure, you're good. They actually used axes in their fire service for making entries and ventilating. Which I was like, what the fuck, 24 BC? That's crazy. Now, what they look like, I don't know. But that's pretty incredible. For one thing, that I think a fire brigade, which they were called the Watchmen. All right, Neil Gaiman, you're going to get sued. But was it Alan Moore or Neil Gaiman that did the Watchmen? I forget. They both suck. Anyway, I digress. Back into my old podcast. But they were using axes for stuff back then. And again, I've heard, like, the things that I read, handles have changed. And obviously, like Josh said earlier, blades have definitely changed. Like, you look at these bearded axes, the backstabber. These blades are crazy. The fire axe with the pick on the back, oh yes, Alan Moore. Thank you. I couldn't remember who did the Watchmen. But yeah, so this tool has been around for millennia, and like Josh said, it really hasn't changed a lot because if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. and it's, you know, I'm sure it's evolved somewhat, but really, really, really cool. We love them, and obviously, you know, it's again the Viking culture. It was ingrained in them. The axe, the fire service, the axe it's ingrained in us. It's our culture. So get you a fucking axe. Long story short, get a fucking axe, man.
I mean, it replaces all of that expensive equipment, chainsaws, log splitters, all that kind of shit.
You gotta work a little harder.
Oh yeah, you got to earn it. Yeah, and there's a learning curve to it too. I mean,
oh my god, I was just going to talk about that. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a girl at my gym. I don't know her. I can't remember her name, to be honest. But a guy I knew. I was on the fire department. She is trying to get her CPAT, and apparently there's and I don't know anything about CPAT. Sorry, I'm not a nerd. But she's having trouble with the sledgehammer swing. There's a sledgehammer evolution in the CPAT. Josh?
I was reading a comment. What'd you say?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
She's having
CPAT.
trouble with the sledgehammer swing in the CPAT test.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know a lot about CPAT, and
I don't either. I don't know anything about it.
I mean, for those that don't know what the CPAT is, I don't even know what it stands for, but it's something relatively new to us in our area, but it's something that's been around the country for a long time, and it's essentially replacing, I'll be nice, effective, like, physical test that the fire departments have built themselves and turning it into a national test that people have to have a certification in order to apply for a fire department job.
Right.
So, of course, with that, people have to pay money and take the CPAT and pass it. Yeah, it's bullshit. I mean,
it's bullshit.
And I don't want to knock this girl. I don't know her, but
no.
You know,
she's just doing what she wants. She's just doing what she has to do to get on a fire service.
And like I said, there's a learning curve to everything, but this test is relatively watered down test as far as what we actually do for a living.
Right.
You know.
Well, she's having trouble with this sledgehammer swing, and I'm like, and the guy was like, "Hey man, can you help her out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." I was like, "I have to see you swing a sledgehammer. Like, I need to see what you're doing. I need to see how you swing it. Like, you think, oh, you just fucking swing it when you were talking about the learning curve." So we went into the CrossFit room, and there's a sledgehammer and a tractor tire, and I said, "Hit that tractor tire a couple times." And then, she, hitting it, and then I was like, now, then she showed me what the evolution looks like without it being a tractor tire, but she was hitting it. And I'm like, well, you're swinging your sledgehammer wrong. And we have a saying on the fire department. I'm sure it's other places too, but this is my point of reference. Let the tool do the work. And I'm glad you said that about the learning curve, because how many new guys, especially on overhaul operations, when I say, "Hey man, see this window frame? Take that window frame out." And like overhaul operations, or when a fire's out, what we do is we take out everything that could rekindle, reignite, other than just throw water. There's void spaces, so we have to make sure, especially in the areas where there was a lot of fire damage, to get out those void spaces, and window seals and stuff like that, knee walls. So they're all the devil. So we take all that shit out. We destroy it. We have a saying, that house is ready for carpet and drywall. Because it is. We've demoed it to shit and back. So to watch a guy swing an axe, it's never swung an axe. It's. I don't want to say it's funny, but immediately. You're like, oh man, yeah, dude, you're gonna wear your fucking self out. You're gonna get the job done, but you're gonna be wore out, and you're not even really being effective. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that comes with the whole big long, the people that we're hiring, I mean, people aren't coming into the job from the trades anymore. People aren't really going into the trades at all anymore as a career, the trades being, people using tools, it's not as big a thing anymore.
They've taken like shop class out of schools. They've taken what was it called when guys would get on the bus and go a vocational school? not home ec. They've taken that out too. Like not shop class, but like
Talking about where they go like co-op,
yeah,
kind of a job or something. And,
yeah, or like where they teach you shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the reason.
And even more than that, we're not growing up in families. Somebody just made a comment in here wondering if either one of us had a wood stove.
Wish.
Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up with a wood stove.
I did too.
I mean, cutting.
Love it. There's someone in my neighborhood that has one because every
Smells
time I walk
great.
outside, oh my God.
Yeah.
And like Shannon always, it's funny. Shannon always go, I smell something burning. Everybody's house on fire. Then I walk outside and I'll go, let me tell you what. You smell that? That's stuff that's supposed to be burning.
Yeah.
Like that is a beautiful, awesome smell. Which I always like to smell a house fire too, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
I mean that's the smell of hard work, man. I mean,
oh, man,
for that wood to make it into that stove, took a lot of work.
Oh, you're talking about that?
I mean,
yeah,
it really did. Yeah. I mean, and somebody made a comment. I think it's Zach. He wrote Alaska ! It's because like at the firehouse, every time I mention Alaska, people are like, "Oh God, here we fucking go."
Here we go.
And I really don't talk about it that much.
I don't think you do at all.
But yeah, I mean, hell, I don't really. But I mean, living there, I mean, if you wanted to stay warm that night, you cut wood that day, or you spent some time. We didn't have we didn't have a log splitter. We didn't have that kind of stuff, We had a chainsaw, but we didn't. We cut the trees down. We split the wood by hand,
right.
I mean, that's how I grew up. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time with an axe handle in my hand.
Yeah,
more than I want to, I mean,
Sure.
really, because it sucks. It's fun. It's therapeutic, Really, I mean, hard
Fantastic
work itself is therapeutic. I mean, just to get into a rhythm of hard work. And doing something and learning something is cool, especially once you get it. Somebody mentioned here talk about cutting wood, and I assume they mean splitting wood.
Audrey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she means or he. Is that Audrey or is that Sedlock? Okay, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about splitting wood, I mean, yeah, like Travis said earlier, let the tool do the work. It's the reason we design tools. We design tools to take that human element out. We have block and tackle because we don't want to put the effort, from our muscles into moving something. Right. We work smarter and develop a tool. So obviously the axe weighs a certain amount. A fire axe, 6-8 pounds. Whatever. Splitting maul, depending on what you're using. Let the weight of that tool do the work. Put the momentum in it. Put the trajectory correct into the wood and let the tool do the job, but also make sure that's dry. That wood's dry. You don't want to be splitting green wood. That sucks. So
yeah, that sucks. That's awful. But
yeah, she said that's what I meant. Sorry, but
that's a fantastic. I mean, like, hey, you want to fucking work out? You want to I love in Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, when Tony and Cap they've just got their ass kicked by Ultron. They've kind of went to a safe house to kind of regroup, and they're on a farm. And Cap, of course, needs to clear his head. What's he do? Cap, being the fucking ultra alpha male, he walks out and he starts fucking cutting wood. I mean, he ain't using a fucking splitter. His axe is probably dull as shit, and he's just fucking splintering this fucking wood as he hits it. Well, then Stark comes out there, and he's definitely an alpha, but he's kind of more on like a passive-aggressive beta side sometimes, and he's out there splitting his wood, and they kind of get in an argument. And the best scene is when Cap gets pissed and sticks his fingers in this fucking section of wood and just fucking, like, didn't even need the axe. But it's, like Josh said, it's therapeutic. He was getting his mind away from the ass kicking they just took. He's trying to regroup. So he's doing this menial task to let his mind kind of wander in a different direction. And if you've ever done that, walked your dog, done dishes or whatever, like doing menial tasks and you're still thinking about things, like if you got something on your mind, I come up with some fantastic ideas when I'm walking my dog. Like I don't listen. I sometimes listen to podcasts, sometimes listen to music. when I don't listen to anything and I kind of filter out the noise and I walk my dog and it's just like I'm just fucking walking. I ain't thinking about shit. My mind kind of runs in areas, and it's cool. I mean,
there's a lot of science that backs that up too.
Right, exactly.
A lot, I mean, they talk, but like in our society today, we're so occupied. I think we talked about this a little bit in one of the other podcasts about being distracted all the time. Our phones, there's podcast shit like we're doing here, fill your time up and occupy your mind so much that it's hard to be able to get into that. There's a state of the brain that you're in when you're doing like taking a shower, right? So you don't need to think about, you've been washing your body enough that you don't have to think about the next step to take.
I hope.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, so you're able to, and like beta or some shit, it might be the beta wave. I can't remember. I've read it, but I can't remember. Somebody can probably mention it in the comments. But yeah, you're able to like kind of silence yourself a little bit, and then things just kind of, all of these different experiences you've had through your life are working to solve a problem, and you're not even realizing that you're solving. And then all of a sudden the answer pops up, and you're like, holy shit, where did that come from?
There's a fantastic episode of Big Bang Theory where Sheldon Cooper, who's this fucking beautiful mind type of physicist, is trying to come up with, his study is string theory, but I forget what kind of problem he was working on. Well, he had read a study about doing menial task to let your, the rear cerebral cortex or whatever, like work on more complex issues. So he starts doing all these mundane things, or he thinks that is mundane, so to let that cerebral cortex work on the bigger string theory problem. And like the funniest part was when he showed up at the Cheesecake Factory where one of the other characters, Penny, she works as a waitress, and he starts taking orders, and she's like, what are you doing? You don't even work here. And he was like, I'm doing mundane tasks so my brain can work on like more complex problems. Fucking hilarious. But it's true. That I'm telling you, like, if you've never done something like that, and plus, man, what a great workout. Like I've said that, like it's hit a tractor tire a few times with a fucking sledgehammer. I mean,
I thought about that. Somebody mentioned that you're now doing CrossFit. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
I think it probably is.
And the comment was, I thought you were going to admit you were doing CrossFit for a minute.
Yeah. No. But you think of that, like, look at that, like splitting wood, swinging an axe is such hard work that they've incorporated it into working out.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, what else, what other task can you think of that they've put into workouts on a regular routine? Because it is hard. I mean, we know, you talk about the job. So like, and we, Louisville Fire Department, vertical ventilation is a huge thing for us.
Yes.
And not to get too away from it, I will tie this back in, but
you're fine.
Other fire departments, they do vertical ventilation. At Chicago Fire Department in one, they still use axes a lot on the roof. Detroit Fire Department, they use axes a lot on the roof. Yeah. Very seldom do you ever see video or a picture of a guy with a saw on the roof. Louisville Fire Department, saws came into play, and we threw that fucking axe to the side, or it's a secondary tool if that saw goes down. I was talking to a buddy in Chicago. I was like, man, you got to fucking try it, dude. Like, you got to take a saw up there and give it a shot. Like, it's not that bad. And their belief is it's more dangerous to take a saw up there. It's more awkward, tool to carry up there and to use. And it is. And there's a learning curve to having a saw on a roof. I mean, there really is. If you don't train with it, an axe, there's a learning curve to that too. I mean, being able to chop from, an angled position, be it if you're on a peak of a roof, chopping down, whatever. There's a learning curve to all of that. They do it. He called me. He was like, dude, he was like, I took a saw to the roof on a vertical, to do a vertical ventilation on a peaked roof, not a flat roof, on a peaked roof, which is totally some fire departments don't even go to peaked roofs. New York City Fire Department, they don't vent peaked roofs from the roof surface itself. We do. A lot of other fire departments do. They deem it too dangerous. But he brought me back, was like, dude, man, that was a game changer, cutting a roof with a saw. And
So-
it was easier, I mean,
Of course
much
it was.
easier.
Oh my God.
Even though, banging out a roof with an axe is, it's not that hard, really. I mean, you're talking, depending on the type of roof and what's underneath of it. If you're just dealing with one layer of shingles and some one-bys, you're going to get through that pretty fucking quick.
Do you remember the roof that we had to cut in drill school that was 3-ply?
The tin, with the tin in
With
it.
the tin.
Yeah.
God
Yeah, it's a
damn.
bitch. And yeah, you're going to encounter
I'll
that.
never
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah.
Like, it kicked my ass.
Yeah. And a saw, a chainsaw is kind of an equalizer in a situation like that where, it don't even fucking notice.
Yeah.
It don't
But
even
I
notice
wonder,
there's.
So your friend that took the chainsaw to the roof, I wonder, even if he would even tell you, he might tell you if you asked him, how much shit he took. Because think about it. If that's a culture, and like fire departments, man, wherever city you go to, they're cultural. Okay? I want to say almost tribal. And what I mean by that is we don't take chainsaws to roofs, motherfucker. And then a guy does because, like you said, it's more efficient. It's not as dangerous as you think. And once you get used to it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's way more fucking efficient. Way more.
Yeah.
But the shit that you're going to take because, hey, you little bitch, get your what are you doing taking a fucking chainsaw up there? You know what I mean? So, like, to change culture like that, it's tough. It's really tough. And I commend him for doing it.
Yeah, no, I'd be disappointed if he didn't catch shit. But he's also a guy on the job that has a lot of respect, and like you said, it's tribal and cultural. So everybody kind of knows each other, and he's been at busy companies, up in Chicago's entire career, and has a lot of respect, not only in his own city but across the nation as far as an instructor and stuff like that. So
good for him.
I'm sure they gave him shit, but at the same time they probably took note, and was like, yeah, there's there's something to that, and there is
for sure.
But the thing about that is you also better have an axe because that saw can go down.
Absolutely.
Anything could have been a maintenance problem. Sure. Could have been some dumb new guy, and we've seen it.
Sure.
We've seen it just like anybody else. They've put the blade on backwards. That's a classic thing that new people do.
I seen a 20-year guy put a blade on backwards one time.
Well, yeah, that too.
And I let him do the whole thing. I didn't say shit. Mm-hmm. And then when he was done, I went, man, that looks great, because we were cleaning it. I said, is there something wrong with that blade? No. Okay, fire it up. Fired it up. Hey, man, looks good. You want to put it on track? Yeah, I say we put it on track. I'm like, I'm going to ask you one more time. Is there something wrong with this chainsaw? He goes, well, I guess there fucking is if you keep asking me. And I picked up the chain and like to check the tension, which the tension was fine. I picked up the chain and dropped it. He went, does it need to be tighter? And I went, look at the teeth, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, my God, I'm so embarrassed. He goes, are you going to tell anybody? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I texted 6 people before I walked away.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, well, you can't swing an axe from the wrong end and not know it.
That's right.
Right. You can pick up a saw and not notice that the chain's on backwards until you start cutting into something. So so we're talking about something that's pretty simplistic, but also could be very complex. Like her talking about, the process of splitting wood. I see, I watch videos on this prepper shit on like bushcrafting and all this stuff. And there's like this big push of being safe with an axe. And I believe people are like doing this thing where they're splitting it, kind of standing in front of, you'd have to imagine this, but they're kind of standing in front of the wood, in front of the logs between your legs. And you're swinging the axe between your legs to split this log. And the reason that they're doing that is like sometimes when you're splitting wood, if you're not concentrating, you're not, their trajectory's wrong. You bounce off that wood, it comes back and hits you in the shin, splits your shin open. That happens, and they're trying to avoid that. And that's awesome in a survival situation. You don't want a fucking injury like that. I mean, that could be the end of you. That's it. And if that's the end of you and you're supporting other people, that could be the end of them.
Right.
So yeah, that's important to know how to do these things. So to know how to split wood the way that I learned how to split wood, which was, from a standing position with a log on another log so that it had a solid base, and splitting this wood and whatever, to a survival situation like that. Or even if you're out camping, you don't want to, say your job's physical, you don't want to get, you don't split wood on a regular basis, so you're not as well versed in splitting this wood, and your chances of injury are greater. Be careful. Learn. There are different ways, and you can look it up online. But yeah, so don't run out there and start splitting wood like you see in a Rocky workout montage. And
right.
And,
well, it's
get yourself fucking hurt and then blame us.
Right.
Be careful.
Well, it's risk versus reward. You know what I mean? Like, be smart. Be smart. Be smart about it.
Yeah, she said, "What if you split wood and hit yourself in the?"
Ooh.
Yeah, well, you're fucked. Yeah.
Well, you would probably lose your axe.
Yeah.
Like your axe just be gone.
Yeah. Like, first, if Jacob's making you go out and split wood, a little questioning the alphaness there anyway.
That's a good point.
I'm kidding. You should be doing it too. But yeah. I mean, it's a good tool, man. You really can't beat it. I've not built furniture out of it, but I have no doubt that if I was in a situation where I had to, I could do it. And I've collected, books on how to do that stuff. And while I haven't done it, I could probably follow the instruction and do it myself. So.
Yeah, I mean, axes are fucking great, guys. Go get you a fucking axe. Just to have. Just to fucking have. You ain't got to fucking ever use it, but you might need it one day. And, again, from a preparedness standpoint, you can't ever be too prepared. Dude, I think we covered it, man. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, it was, I wasn't prepared, of course. That's kind of been the theme of this show.
Couldn't tell, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell.
Chop Fit.
It's the name of the workout team. Oh, he's talking about those axes you can buy online. I seen something. Have you seen these goofy ass plastic axes on Facebook?
I don't see that comment.
I'm fucking boycotting Facebook. Fuck them. Fucking.
What is it? A workout tool? Like something that doesn't have an edge that you can work out on? Yeah.
Well, it's Chop Fit. It's a workout tool. It's the name of the workout tool. That's what he says.
So that's like their gimmick is like, hey, buy this tool.
You get in shape, man.
We're gonna gear all our workouts around
plastic
this
weighted
tool.
Axes.
Oh wow, no, I have not seen that.
I haven't seen that either.
I don't spend that kind of time in the internet.
$120 for one?
Wow. Well, here, take my advice. Get a real fucking axe. Go to Harbor Freight and buy the cheapest fucking axe you can, and
go split some wood.
File it down where it doesn't have a blade, and get you a tire and swing it at that.
Yep.
There's no way that thing's going to cut you open, and you're getting the same workout. And avoid the $120 cost. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah. Fuck that.
So, you want to close this out? You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Hey guys, I want to thank everybody. I know Josh does too. I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. Sorry for hey, we're doing a show. Really sorry about not being on Facebook. Not my fault. Take a fucking joke, Zuckerberg, you dick. But so we thought we would. There's going to be some more episodes like this where we just talk about shit like alphas like to do, man. It might be fucking drinking bourbon. It might be our rifle setups. It might be our EDC setup. It might be smoking cigars. It could be fucking anything. Hope we entertained you guys. Hope we gave you maybe a little bit of insight on fucking axes, especially from where we come from, the fire service. Again, we've not experts by no fucking means. We're not historians by any means, but we've used axes on a more readily basis than a lot of people have, and see their value in them.
Yeah.
But, one of the purposes of the show, guys, is to, I feel like there's an attack on manliness right now. And, for people to, and I don't have kids. Josh has enough kids for me, so I don't feel bad. The world is balanced in that area. But I feel like there's an attack on men being men and being manly. And there's nothing wrong with that. And actually, I think it's something that we're lacking sorely in. So things like this, we want to entertain you, of course, but we also want there to be a message in the background too. And that's like, hey man, take ownership of your fucking life. There's nothing more alpha than that. To be resilient, to be self-confident, to be driven. And all these things are going to play a part in your life and in your work life, in your personal life, in your dating life, in your fucking sex life. It's all going to come back to you. You're all responsible to you. If you haven't accomplished shit in your life and you feel like your life sucks, I guarantee if we could go back and audit the work that you've put in for your success or your happiness, I bet it equals out. I bet it fucking equals out. Everybody gets the shit in the stick at some point. Everybody. But sometimes you don't get the shit in. What do you do with it? Okay? So that's kind of a message that Josh and I want to convey to everybody that watches the show or listens to this show is that, yeah, man, we're two goofs and we're cool with that. And we want you to have fun and we want to entertain you. But we also want you to think about things and quiet that bitch voice that tells you that you can't fucking do something and go out there and fucking do it. Achieve it. Okay, that's the most alpha thing you could fucking do. And we want you to be fucking happy, right? We want to be happy, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. It really was. It's inspiring. No, yeah, Zach, what does it say? Sanders 211 comedy said, buy an axe to do work and get a barbell to work out. Yeah, it's good advice.
Okay. Good advice.
Good advice. Yeah. But yeah, no, my closing remark would be, I challenge everybody that listens to this to like find something, like over the next week or whatever that you haven't done before. We're talking about swinging axes and we're talking about working with our hands, and it's not something that a lot of people do today. So find some task, be it repairing your hot water heater or, with all the code shit that we've had over the last week, if we've had, busted water pipes, figure out how to fix that shit yourself. Self-sufficiency, that matters. So like find these things in your life where you're not going to go hire somebody to do it. You're going to figure it out yourself. You're going to learn how to do it, and you're going to do it. Save yourself some money, and also learn something.
Be self-reliant.
Yeah, be self-reliant and pass that on to your kids. Pass it on to your family or whatever. Like a lot of guys in the fire department. That I just within the last couple of years, I've worked with some really young guys that have bought houses, and I've listened to them talk about hiring people to do this and to do that. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? What a better opportunity to learn how to do something than when it matters to you, I mean, and this stuff that we see these people do or that we hire people to do is not that complex. Right. It really isn't. I mean, the trades itself are not that complex. A little bit of research. We have the internet. We have books. We have all these things at our disposal to pick up and to learn from. So, like, take that opportunity, seize it, and learn something new, and make yourself a better, more well-rounded person. More useful. More useful you are, the harder you're going to be to kill. Which Zach will get a kick out of that.
Be an asset. Be a value add. You'll hear that in the military. Be a value add. Like, what does that mean? A value add. Like, if you get a new member on your team, is he a value add? Like, what value does he bring to this team?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's he good at? What, like maybe you just like having him a fucking around. Who knows?
Yeah.
But be a value add, and be a value add to your family, be a value add to your friends, be a value add to your community, in your neighborhood. My neighbor came over and gave me some fucking, some melt ice. Because I had all this ice on my back, we have 4-wheel drive vehicles, so it's not a fucking big deal. I'm not out there shoveling my fucking driveway because I don't fucking have to. No one gets in it but me and her, so it's fucking fine. But, he wanted to help, and I really appreciate that, being neighborly, that's being a value add, being a value add to your community. Think about these things, guys. It ain't something that you fucking have to dominate your everyday thought process, but it's something that I feel like we're slowly getting away from And that, not only that, now it's being attacked. I feel like, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just insecure, and I feel like I'm being attacked for being manly. But I think there is that movement that's going on, and me and Josh are here to combat that to some extent, and to make you laugh and hopefully make you smile a little bit too. But guys, so we will try to get back on a regular schedule. If you could just go, God damn, I even hate saying fucking Facebook. But, Facebook, Instagram, I'm going to push Instagram. Fuck Facebook. Instagram, I always post it there first because it goes to Instagram or goes to Facebook after I post it there anyway. So go to the Instagram page, like the Alpha Bro Show, and you'll find out when we're going to be on. Again, this was a really, really impromptu, quick episode. Hope it was good for you. Give me your feedback. We've been getting a lot of feedback. Josh and I actually got some feedback from the last episode that we both were like, holy shit. And Josh was like, what did you say? And I went, what could I say, man? I just said, man, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this guy literally was like, and I don't know, we're going to make him obviously an honorary Alpha Bro. Right. I mean, maybe in the next episode. We didn't do it this episode. Yeah. But yeah, man, that was really cool. He sent us a really genuine, nice message about,
our content.
Yeah, our content and like how you're addressing like issues that people are dealing with and saving lives even, I mean.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way, but
I don't feel that way about it at all, but he was very sincere and honest. I sent you the post. I said, "Can I share this with Josh?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And I'm like, "Okay." So, because I knew you might not believe me if I said, "Hey, you ain't gonna believe this," So
it was cool, man. Really cool to read a comment like that.
So cool, man. So cool, and it puts pressure on us, and I'm good with that, man. That motivates me, and Josh and I have been talking about stuff to do. So when Josh was saying pick something that you're not good at or something that you haven't done before, like to be more self-reliant. Josh and I are going to be doing some of that stuff coming up. I don't know when. Hopefully when things get a little bit more back to normal, I want Josh and I to have some adventures, if you will, on stuff that we've never done before. And, we'll video it and we'll show you like, hey, man, we ain't afraid to do it either. I mean, we'll put our stuff out there. We're telling you to do it. We'd be fucking hypocritical as shit if we didn't do it. So we're going to do some of that stuff. Trust me. So please follow social media links. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, okay, like you get your shit in 2 days, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription. Okay, it costs you nothing to subscribe to the Alpha Bro Show on Twitch, and it would actually give us a little something each month that you do that. So if you have any questions, you can email me at the Alpha Bro Show at gmail.com. I'll be glad to walk you through it, and I'm actually going to try to make a video to show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. It's basically just linking your accounts, and you can subscribe to us, which would be fantastic. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. I know some of you guys in the chat tonight have already done that. Thank you so much. The way things work in Google searches is the more subscribers and everything you have, the more the show gets out there. Now, this is what I'll finish with. I know no one wants to hear this shit, but it really helps us. If you know somebody that would like this content or you think might enjoy the show, send them a link. Send them a link to just maybe a show, or maybe you just send them a link to one of the Facebook pages or the Instagram page. That would be fantastic. And trust me, word of mouth, me and Josh, we aren't into being monetized. We aren't into any of that, but we're not stupid either. So we would like to have that, but we want to build a great show and build a great fan base and have a great chat every week like we've been having, and we just want to grow it. That's all we want to do, and we just kind of need your help to do it. So if you could do that, it'd be really fucking cool and fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think the algorithms matter. Like, so the more it gets shared, the more likes it gets, the more these algorithms work in our favor, right?
For sure.
I mean, that's how it is. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
That's how it is. That's okay.
So even if you dialed on this for 5 minutes and you're like, a couple of knuckleheads don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but my nephew might enjoy this.
Yep.
Send it to him. Yep. I mean, it'd be cool.
And all the comments and stuff work too. So thank you everybody that watched and didn't comment, comment next time. Just say hello. Would love to hear from you. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. You have a sly remark, put it in the fucking chat. You have a joke, put it in the chat. We would love to see it, and we might just recognize you for it. And that's how you become an honorary alpha bro for the next show. Is we're going to take things from the chat and we're going to be like, man, this is what we're talking about. This is what epitomizes the goal or our mantra, if you will. This guy gets it. He's going to be the honorary alpha bro for the next show. So with that, guys, please follow social media links. We'll get the next show out there. Josh is going out of town. Everybody wish him a happy trip. And we're going to get out of here, guys. Enjoy your week and be fucking safe.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Love you guys.
See you guys. Peace.